Welcome to Scholar Leaders. We're delighted that you're thinking about PhD studies. This video will give you an overview of our PhD scholarship application process, tips for writing a strong application for Scholar Leaders funding, and suggestions for choosing the academic institution at which you'll pursue your PhD. The application process. The Scholar Leaders funding application opens on August 1st and closes on November the 15th each year. Annually, we receive over 100 applications. We read applications in November and December and send about 20 to 25 finalists to our selection committee. In February, our selection committee chooses 8 to 10 new scholarship recipients who will begin receiving funding in September. Applicants are notified of the result of their application, whether selected for a new scholarship or not, in February to March. So that's when you can expect to hear from us. Applicants who have not received a scholarship one year may apply for a scholarship in the following year. In fact, we occasionally encourage some individuals to do so if their first application shows promise but is not yet strong enough. Please note that we only support individuals for PhD studies in theology and related fields. Please also note that we require all scholarship recipients to sign a covenant in which they promise to return to majority world ministry immediately after their studies. Those who do not do so will be asked to repay their scholarship. If you do not fit either of these criteria, you should seek funding elsewhere. To apply, please read the application inquiry page on our website carefully. If you fit our criteria, you can complete the inquiry form on that page. One of our staff will then send you the full application to complete, along with a link requesting 3 letters of recommendation.
Tips on applying. When you are writing your application, here are some tips to consider. You can see more tips and examples under Application Tips on our inquiry page. In your writing, be specific, proofread carefully. Ask a mentor to read your application before you submit it to us. They will probably have pointers about how to make your writing clearer and more direct. When we evaluate applicants, we are looking for intellectual ability. Have you been gifted with intellectual capacity? Do you have a track record of excellent grades and academic pursuits as demonstrated in your educational and work history? Specificity of dissertation topic. We know that your topic may change when you begin your PhD, but be as clear as you can about what you intend to study and why you want to study it. Contextual relevance. We especially want to know how your research will serve your context's particular concerns. Why is it important to the church or to society around you? Leadership ability. We seek individuals who are gifted beyond the purely intellectual. We are looking for all-stars, people who have a vision for how the gospel can change their context and speak from their context to the rest of the world. Have you started your own ministry or taken another ministry to new levels? Have you published in your field? What do others say about you? Clear path to leadership at home. We seek people who truly need a PhD to fulfill God's calling in their lives. Your application should clearly demonstrate that you need a PhD for what you plan to do next. Your application should also show that you have strong connections to your home context. Do you have a job waiting for you when you finish PhD studies? A job that requires a PhD. When you're thinking about who to ask to write a letter of recommendation, here are some suggestions. If you're already on faculty at a seminary or university, you should ask the school's president, provost, academic dean, and/or rector to write a letter of recommendation for you. If you've already begun your doctoral studies, you should ask your PhD supervisor and/or mentor to write a letter of recommendation. Advice on choosing a school of study. We do not require you to study at any particular institution or kind of institution. However, we have found that some institutions fit some individuals better than others depending on their backgrounds, callings, and personalities. We offer these descriptions of institutional differences with the hopes that they will help you determine which program best fits your needs and PhD you want to pursue.
Western versus majority world versus split site. Western residential institutions are more expensive, but offer more extensive library and research resources. They offer an opportunity to live outside your home context, to be exposed to other cultures, and to see how the church in very different places functions. They may allow you to focus more carefully on your studies that might be in the case in your home context, where it is easy to be distracted by ministry opportunities or the demands of your home institution. Nevertheless, the time away from your home context might make your research difficult, and you're planning to focus on a topic that requires interviews, fieldwork, etc. You should also bear in mind that the time away from your home country can be quite challenging for spouses and children, especially for children who can become accustomed to a very different culture and then experience shock when they return home with you. Majority world residential institutions may be more accessible, easier to get into, and with easier bureaucracies to navigate, but they may have more limited library and research resources. They allow you to pursue your studies closer to home, which can help you keep your research more closely tied to your context. However, they may not offer the same opportunities for cross-cultural exposure, and the demands of living at home, in close proximity to church and other ministries, can distract you from your studies. Still, if you are accepted for a scholarship with Scholar Leaders, you will be able to apply for one research travel grant during your studies. This applies to those who study outside their home context as well. You can use this grant to get access to better libraries and to have cross-cultural experiences. Split-site programs can bridge these two problems. They can give you access to Western resources while allowing you to live in context. However, in a split-site program, you do not have the experience of extended exposure to other cultures or ease of access to physical libraries and even to supervisors. For instance, depending on the quality of your local infrastructure, your internet connection might make regular Zoom meetings with supervisors or participation in online conferences difficult. Split-site programs can seem to be less expensive, but the costs of travel and residency can mean that they require more financial resources than you might initially expect. Denomination versus non-denominational. A denominational institution, a Baptist or a Presbyterian seminary, for example, can help you pursue your topic with people who are experts in the denomination's beliefs and history. If you're working on a topic closely related to your denomination, such as the history of Presbyterianism in Egypt, you might want to study at a Presbyterian seminary. On the other hand, if you plan to work on a topic that might be controversial, or if you want to explore new solutions to old problems, a confessional institution might present challenges or limit your possibilities. A non-denominational institution. A seminary without a denominational affiliation, or even a secular institution, can give you a broader field in which to pursue your studies. You will likely interact with faculty from several confessional traditions, and these conversations may help you to be more creative, may open your mind to new avenues for exploration. Seminary versus university. Because seminaries specialize in theology, you can count on them having larger faculties and specialists in a wide range of theological subdisciplines, such as Old Testament, hermeneutics, or missiology. University programs, on the other hand, will not always have as many professors on the theology and religion faculty, so make sure you look their full faculty listing on their website to ensure that you will have access to more than a few scholars. On the other hand, universities have faculty in a wide range of fields beyond theology. If your project has an interdisciplinary component, you will benefit from having access to professors specializing in the other disciplines on which you intend to draw. For instance, if you wish to research theology and art, or theology and psychology. Additionally, universities will offer lectures, trainings, and seminars in a wider range of fields, which can enrich your formation. If you're working in an interreligious studies, say on Islam, then a university will allow you to have closer contact with the scholars and students who are from other religious traditions. Engagement with them will challenge your work. Conversely, in a seminary, even professors who are Islamicists, for instance, will likely be Christians. This is an advantage insofar as they have a Christian perspective on your field of study, but you might miss out on the intellectual benefits of having sustained interaction with the adherents of the religion that you are studying. Christian institutions versus secular institution. A Christian institution, whether denominational or non-denominational, whether seminary or university, provides you with a Christian intellectual community in which to pursue your studies. The faculty and other students at a Christian institution will all be believers, and you may have opportunities to attend or participate in chapel, missions, and other ministries that you wouldn't have at a secular institution. A secular institution provides you with an intellectual community that may challenge your presuppositions. These challenges might be helpful as they prompt you to explore new possibilities, or they might be distracting or even discouraging. Secular faculty and colleagues may not understand the challenges that you face within the church or the seminary, and they may not be able to offer you spiritual mentorship. Yet, secular institutions can sometimes have higher academic standards, so you may find yourself encouraged to grow intellectually in new ways. Most theologians at secular schools are Christians, but they might be a little more reserved about how they allow their faith to influence their scholarship. As you try to decide what school is right for you, ask the following questions. Subject area expertise. Are there faculty members, at least one, perhaps more like 2 or 3, at the institution with expertise in my specific field or study? Can I look at the institution's website and see the face of at least one person who could guide my work with deep knowledge? For example, if I want to study indigenous theology in Uzbekistan, does this institution have someone with expertise in Central Asia? Or do they only have faculty familiar with the Middle East or North Africa? Does this institution have library resources in my field of study? Family considerations. How will this institutional choice affect my family? Will we be able to live together? Will I have to learn a new language? Will my spouse and children have to learn a new language and find a new school, church, etc.? Or conversely, will leaving my home context allow me to distance from other relationships that will let me focus more fully on my studies? Financial factors. Is this institution financially supportive? Will I be able to live in my country of study? Will I have sufficient travel and research funds? What other avenues of financial support are available to me? From my sending institution, if you have one, or from the institution at which I will study? From family, friends, and church at home? From other scholarship organizations? Please note that Scholar Leaders only offers partial support, usually approximately 1/3 of your total need. So you'll need to seek multiple sources of funding to sustain yourself and your family during your doctorate. Spiritual considerations. Will the context in which I study, whether at home or abroad, support my spiritual growth? Will the faculty and other students at this institution help me mature as a Christian, whether by sharing the Christian journey with me or by dialoguing with my faith from other perspectives? If the school I select will present more of a challenge to my current beliefs, are there churches nearby where my family and I can worship and find community?
So finally, thank you for watching this video. We hope it's been helpful as you think about applying to PhD programs in general, and as you think about applying to Scholar Leaders to fund your PhD studies in particular. May God bless you in your pursuits.